Welcome to This Podcast is Making Me Thirsty, the number one destination for Seinfeld fans. This is Two Up and Two Down. Here's our producer, Chris, to start us off.
Welcome back to another episode of Two Up and Two Down. Today we have a season 5 episode, The Puffy Shirt. All right, we're going to start things off with Tony this time. And Tony, what's your first up?
Yeah, Puffy Shirt. I'm saying, man, this season 5, obviously it's a crowd favorite. It's, Pink Hats and those that have been there since the start all like it for different reasons. I've ranked this thing at anywhere from 17 to 40. I'm all over the place on a Puffy Shirt. We'll get to it as we start going through these things. But my up for the Puffy Shirt is always going to be the whose parents are crazier conversation with Jerry and George. Just an absolute great conversation. I mean, this is Seinfeld at its best. Two of them going back and forth, just nailed each other with whose parents are crazier. My father wears shoes in the pool line from the tippy toe, phone message. George brings that back. My mom's never laughed. My father never set foot in a body of water. I mean, they just go back and forth on whose parents are crazier. Just an amazing conversation. Parents are involved. I love it. When they talk about their parents is even better. I think when they go into that route, Del Boca Vista, those kind of things. But either way, that's my thumbs up. Is the Jerry and George comparing whose parents are better or crazier, I should say. That's my thumbs up.
Great. Yeah, I always love those type of conversations between those two. All right, Chris, what do you have for your first up?
The Puppy Shirt. Sony said it's an iconic episode across the board. I got many ups. I'm going to go with, and it's just something I always love, the double date. Elaine and Jerry with Kramer and his girlfriend. We've seen it across the board in the Visa and a bunch of other ones. Jerry and Elaine, just being that couple as friends, and with the low talker there, may she rest in peace. But what a scene. I mean, Kramer able to hear everything and him chuckling and flirting with the low talker. I laugh every time. And then obviously he goes to the bathroom, right? Similar to a lot of these episodes. And that's when everything goes down with obviously the low talker asking about wearing the puppy shirt on the Today Show. So my first up is just is the double date. Love it. The same kind of restaurant they always use. And they're just, Jerry and Elaine are always just so comfortable. And I don't know, it's just a great feeling when you're watching that. And, Elaine talking about the benefits and I don't know. It's good stuff. Double date, first up.
All right, very good. Yeah, we had a high talker, so now we have to have the low talker. So, all right, great. Tony, back to you. What's your second up for this episode?
Yeah, I didn't even write that one down, but O'Hara just threw that out there, and I do love it. So yeah, that's another up to really think about here. My next up, though, I'm a sucker for the Costanzas. Obviously, everyone knows that. I'm just gonna go. I'm going with. I mean, there's plenty of Costanzas here, but to keep it to kind of the idea of what we're doing here, thumbs up. I'm gonna give the actual scene with. Just what Frank says, who the hell did you ever mention his hands to? I mean, just that whole scene, just how they're just going off with the bananas. George likes bananas, and just I'll take it upstairs, and if you want to even add the other conversation at the dinner when they're at dinner and the silver dollars, they got a silver dollar collection and that whole thing. I mean, I'll do that. I'll tie it all in. I'll just say the entire the Costanzas. Elevate this episode immensely. This is peak George. He's moved in with them. He's got nothing going on. He's at dinner with them, and everything's just piling on top of him. Would take the civil service test, become a mailman. I mean, just classic Costanzas. One of the Costanzas' best episodes, in my opinion. That's my thumbs up. Is Estelle and Frank.
No complaints here. So, let's go back over to you, Chris. What do you got for your second up?
Yeah, I had both of those as separate, but yeah, take it as a combo. What the hell? And I'm with Estelle there, right? Good paycheck every week. You get a pension. Why not? Frank, I don't like the waiter. So my second up is George after that dinner at the restaurant, back at Jerry's place, discussing Jerry's hands. Your knuckles are all out of proportion. You got hair over there. I mean, you got hair over there line gets me every time. And then Jerry with just a great kind of comedic comeback. I guess that's what comes from avoiding manual labor your whole life. So great kind of stand-up piece thrown in there that fit actually. And then to top off that scene, Kramer coming in with the buzzer. I mean, it's just like kids, just unbelievable. The way Kramer laughs and George reacts. I love the hand buzzer thing. So that whole scene after the dinner when he learns he's a hand model and he's analyzing Jerry's hands and then Kramer analyzes him. Just magnificent writing, magnificent acting. And again, the big three at their best. Second one's up.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is definitely a fan favorite. So downs. This is tough for me. Such a great episode, but what do you guys have for your downs? And Tony, what's your first one?
Yeah, downs are tough. And I the buzzer, holy cow. Another one that just is hilarious that I just remembered. My down, and we're going to start nitpicking here. This is what we do. I just don't think Elaine has enough going on in this episode. I think, that's okay. We are okay with Elaine not being the star, right? Sometimes she's too much, talking Susie, talking little kicks, right? Too much, not good Elaine. This is still good Elaine, and it's still, she's got her place, but I need her to do a little bit more than just kind of laugh at Jerry in the puffy shirt and whatnot in the dressing room. I mean, she doesn't really even have a storyline. I mean, I guess it's her charity, but if we're going to nitpick, I'd like to see something out of Elaine in this that gives me something a little bit more. So that's going to be my down. It's just not enough Elaine to really elevate this to levels that we maybe other episodes might in season 5. So that's my down.
All right. Yeah, very good, Tony. Over to you, Chris. What's your first down?
Agreed. I had that, and I don't know if this I'll give another one. But, what's weird is the whole Today Show thing. Elaine came in, and Jerry never called Elaine and mentioned to her that he was wearing this puffy shirt. A little weird. Like, that would have happened. All right. So the official one down is, again, we're nitpicking here. It's tough to find downs, but why would George go to the Today Show studio after Jerry was already on? Like, it didn't make any sense. Usually you go to the Today Show to watch him on the show. He came after. It didn't even ask how he did. He just jumped right into it. I mean, I don't know, that whole kind of that scene at the end, and even like, the low talkers now yelling, like, I get it, but that's my one down. Like, what's George doing? I know he's happy, but like him going straight to the Today Show after just never really made any sense to me. And then obviously, we know what happened after that, but that's my first down.
Oh yeah, very, very good point there. I like that. Tony, back to you. What do you got for your first or second down now?
Yeah, I know Ohio loves these odd things. Oh, why is Kramer picking George up at the in the conversion? He likes these. What's going on here? That's his downs a lot. I noticed that. My down here is. Again, we're nitpicking. I don't love the ending of this episode. I don't love, Elaine's feeding George or not in monks. It throws me off a little bit. Yeah, got spare some change for an old matey. Now the homeless people wear it. I get it. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I know what they're doing, and sure, you got to tie this thing together somehow. But I don't know. It falls a little flat. A lot of times these great episodes, they kind of have to fill that last minute and a half or 2 minutes, and they just do it with something that's kind of like, ties it together. I mean, it ties it together nicely, but to me, it doesn't land. I don't know what it is. I don't love Maybe it's just Elaine feeding George. That threw me off. I mean, watching it again, I'm like, why would Elaine would never do that? Here we go again. I'm saying, I'm pulling things out the same way, but spare some change from a Buccaneer. I get it. Now the homeless are wearing the shirt. I don't know. I'm finding downs. That's a down for me. I'm played out at George grabbing the iron. I mean, you could end the show, right? What are we doing after that? I guess they got to fill something in. I don't love it. So, I mean, that's my down. It's just the extra, 3 minutes or whatever it is, 2 minutes at the end of the show. So.
All right. But yeah, Jerry Den does come around and say at that point, when they're leaving the restaurant, it is a nice shirt. So, Chris, over to you. What do you have for your second down?
Tony's taking all my downs here, but yeah, I also had more along the lines of what I was saying. Is the last scene was why were they not at Monk's? That didn't resonate. Like that's where they always go, and then they were back in the restaurant where George was with his parents. Okay. So I'm stealing a little bit of Tony's there, and then just one little nitpick, and I don't know why, and I watched it, but when Jerry and Kramer come in and they're dropping George off at his parents there with Estelle, and they're knocking things around, Estelle yells, "We just painted." The whole house is wallpaper.
Oh, come on.
Where did they paint?
Come on.
Now again, it's nitpicky. But I'm nitpicking here because I'm drawn from a bunch of we're combining a couple downs here, but that's my down. So and again, this is a writing staff that's detailed. So listen, we got to poke holes where we can. But that's my those are my second kind of downs for the Puffy shirt.
All right, very good. So now let's wrap up the episode with grades. And Tony, we're going to start with you this time. What do you got for your final grade?
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, I got 3 grades written down, and I've been going back and forth with this a little bit. And I think the fact that we can't pull any downs out of this thing. We didn't even mention the Ray McKigney story as an up, either one of us, and that's a amazing scene in this whole entire show. We didn't even bring up McKigney. We both mentioned several ups without even bringing that up. The Costanzas elevate this episode for me between the scene O'Hara just mentioned when they get there, the dinner scene with George, plus the other scene where I never heard you mention anyone. Who the hell did you mention Milky White to? Who the hell did you mention his hands to? I mean, Costanzas can elevate an episode for me. We all know that. My down was Elaine didn't have a lot. If that's your down, you're okay. You're not going into too deep of waters here. I wish I didn't go first because I don't know where he's going with this one, but I'm going to go A-. I wrote down 3 grades, but I think I'm okay landing on A- for the Puffy shirt. I mean, it lives forever. Pink Hats love it. Everyone loves it. A season 5 episode. I didn't mention it down. I hate Gumble, by the way. I hate Gumble. He's annoying as hell. That's a side note. I'm giving this an A-. Puffy shirt, season 5, A-.
All right, yeah, that's fine. A- for this episode. Chris, let's hear what you got.
Yeah, it's a good grade. I mean, yeah, the McKigney thing, Michael Mitz, who's in that scene as a photographer, was also in the Chinese restaurant, the guy on the phone, little history there. We say there's not a lot of downs, but I think, the Gumble thing, let's be honest, the low talker, may she rest in peace, didn't love her. She didn't,
Agreed.
We talk about the high talker, the close talker, all these stupid talkers. They were top notch. And she, in my opinion, brought it down a little bit. And, you bastard. Like, I hate that her voice is a little annoying to me. But with all that said, Tony makes great points. It's an A-. I can't
We're
put
going
it.
with
I can't put it as an A, but I don't want to make this the perfect episode. I do want to call out there were some things that didn't make sense here, but A- is great. It's a great grade for especially season 5, which was kind of probably the most consistent. You're going to see a bunch of A- in season 5, so it's right there.
So obviously the Puffy shirt, yeah, great grades there. Again, it's one that fans all across the board love. So thank you guys for another episode here of Two Up and Two Down, and let's go on to the next one.